Hi, I'm Mark McGinnis, and I'm an illustrator from Brooklyn, New York. Today I'll be showing slides of a print series I've been working on for the past 10 years called the Alphabet Series, a board game, and some gallery work. I'm an editorial illustrator, and so I do a bunch of work for newspapers and magazines. When you do editorial, you can't be like as provocative as I was with the other work. You have to I have to rein myself in a little bit. So this is where I work a lot with iconography and symbolism to kind of drive the point home. Most times I just get like a line of copy or maybe a paragraph, and then I'll do the illustration, and then the newspaper will write the headline kind of against the illustration and how it works with the article. Oh, and so I just wanted to go over really quickly how I work, like sort of what my process is. And theme is like when I get an article, a newspaper article, I have to read through it and figure out what the main talking points are. And then I have to come up with a metaphor, like a visual idea, a visual like cliche even, in order to like explain what's happening in the story. And then I do pencils and then I show them to the art director. I just email them to him. And the audience, at least in newspapers, like and magazines, like I already have an audience. But like I always like to think about who I'm showing it to, just regardless of where I'm working. So if I'm doing prints, like I knew I wanted to make it look like children's art, but I also knew that I was targeting adults. So it affects the way that I execute. Space, same thing. I like to consider where I'm doing that because I want to know what people are going to be going to that space, if it's relevant, if it's a relevant space. Execution, again, it just depends on the perspective, but like if I know I'm doing like a gallery space, like I might use wood, I might use vinyl. And it also depends on the idea, like how that all works out. And then install, like what kind of materials I'm going to use and how much time I think it's going to take me to do something. That's pretty much how I like to work on all of my projects. And some are more important than others, and sometimes it's not all in the same order, but that's how I work. So I like to use archetypes because they're images or symbols that most people universally understand. The store that I sell in London, he's also a manufacturer, and he asked me specifically that he wanted me to do work that was celebratory, that I wasn't allowed to do any subversive work, and it took me all summer to figure this out. But finally, we found something that stuck. And really, it was just, it was kind of like what city life was like celebrating city life in New York City. So this is like the subway, a scene from a subway. This was biking, because biking is really huge in New York, but it's also really big in London too, so it kind of was a good fit. And then I did a little platter in the back. And here's the illustration that I did. But this was like really technical, because when I print, I like to work with translucencies. So I had to ask I don't know if you guys know about how to make ceramics, but it's a lot like screen printing. So they make a transfer, and then they take the transfer and put it on, and then they fire it in a kiln. But the transfer is like one sheet, so stick it onto the china. But what I had to do is ask the guy that makes the transfers. I was like, okay, because it's like glass enamel. It's kind of different. It's very toxic, and I had to ask him to make everything translucent. So he had to put additives into the ink. Technically, it just took forever, but I thought the results were really nice. Okay, and that's it. I'm done. Fun.